Hi guys, so today we'll be going to go and do a war scenario as usual, and this time the war will be placed in Europe and also have a set of rules here. But before that, let me just tell what countries are going for war. So Italy and France had allied up to attack Germany and UK. So now the laws which I will say is that like there will be no UN or NATO or anything. So it will just be like that, and that's it. So yeah, so let's go ahead and start the war. So since they already prepared their army, and probably the Italian army is not really that good, but still they have it like marched up around France, so they will just start to attack. Let me just increase the thickness. So France has just started to attack Germany because it's just its closest neighbor and it will handle UK afterwards. So yeah, and French and UK Navy are like both like very much similar in strength, so it will kind of be like a bit of hard to no means like if can UK Navy beat up the France Navy. So yeah, so while France was mostly focused on just going through towards the Germany's southern part, so that it can just shoot away up here, and also it's also pushing a bit into the north, and it's a bit hard since it has a army as usual. So in meantime, the British army was the British navy was like, let's just make a landing, and they had made a landing right about here. And if you do not know where Paris is located, Paris is somewhere like right here, so it's not really good, because it's like very near, means it's not near, but you can see it can if it has like enough things it can do. So it will just take like a bit of time to get the tanks around here. So in the meantime, the Brits will have to use only the manpower and guns, and they were doing it successfully and just made another landing here. But the thing is that there were some tanks by the French that were on this coast, and they saw this, and this went horribly wrong. So the tanks and some of the manpower and from the French were able to wipe out this landing. So basically, this is the only landing. So meanwhile, while French was ravaging down, the Italian navy is kind of strong, but it cannot like get transported like here. It will just take a bit of time. So they have also the Italian navy and the French Mediterranean navy is going to pass towards Gibraltar, so that it can just come and rescue down France's coast. So but still France won't France doesn't care, because it has some nuclear submarines that is it just has one more nuclear submarine than Brits. But yeah, but I think French and the Brits quality are very same. So yeah, so as they were ravaging down the German army, who was right here, they are now like marching towards the place where France was attacking. And also, so yeah, but still it doesn't stop the French, because because I estimate it will take just like 2-3 weeks. In the meantime, I think France will be able to get over this much of Germany. So then France had sent send a bigger push towards Bavaria. So basically cutting off Germany into two, because there's a small portion right here, and they were able to just take it down. And then another bigger push was made, and the French navy, they were just since they were around here, so they just made and fooled Brits, and thinking that it's just some ships for trading, and they reached the German part, and so they did not get the tanks. So it's basically, so now since now the French is now attacking from the northern part, and in the Danish German border, which it's now not even there because the means now the French is going through. Now half of the army who is marching down is now said to quickly move towards here. But the thing is that it will still take around it will take around 1 more week to reach there. So in the meantime, they were just ravaging down. And if you do not know where Berlin is there, which is the capital, it is situated right here. So now the Germany has 2 fronts, while the UK is just right here, just chilling on French coast and all, and that is where they made a stalemate. And the French army cut off Germany again into two, and the navy, which was right here, just like controlling the German navy. And the German navy, I think, is not really that strong because like it doesn't have that much coastline, I think. So they were just basically they just made another landing while they were just ravaging down towards southern part, and soon enough this part is captured. Now the northern part is now has made like around like 20-30 regiments to move towards Berlin. So they just they made a plan that they will use a cut to just like cut here, while here the French is now meeting a stalemate. They are meeting a stalemate here, but they were still able to push around the eastern parts because they were able to push down the eastern parts, but yeah, they cannot like hold on much longer. So the French had just set up a defensive line. There are 2 defensive lines. So one right here over the claims they made, and another right here. Another right here. So it will only enable the Brits to only able to take only this much of land. So and also the Germans made one defense line to protect the city of Berlin. So they just made really far, and the wall is also like touching Berlin a bit. So yeah. So meanwhile, since like I think around like 2 days passed, and only a little bit of the army has came. So they just simply just taking down how much ever land they can. And soon enough they just meet the defense line, where they cannot just pass through it easily because around like all the tanks and artillery is there. So they just made one thing. So they just wanted to like correct down. So the southern French army and the northern French army has just started. And meanwhile, while they were doing this, the Brits found like an advantage. Like since now France was really dedicated in Germany, they had just sent down some few tanks, and they were able to achieve a massive success, because British tanks are, I think, better than French tanks. Sorry if I'm wrong. So they were able to manage to break down the defense line, and they were now nearing the city of Paris, while they were just starting to just take down the French coast. So now France is now suddenly starting to move over its army here, which causes the German army to able to push back, but the northern German part has not yet been ordered to come back. So they are still just like ravaging down, and they were still just thinking of like cutting off. So they just made around like 50 regiments to cut off Germany again into 2, and this time it will be a very, very large piece. And they were able to do that successfully, since not a lot of resistance. But now the German army who is here is now able to push back a bit of the French army, and soon they will be able to cut off the French army into 2. And they did that, and they were able to just take down the army that was trying to break down the defense line. So now they were in a lot of trouble, since like around half of the army is now been sent there and only half of the army is here. So it will be quite difficult. So means to like go towards this to capture down. So they just still decided to do it, and it will just take around I think it will just take around a week because of the diminished man resources. and soon enough they were able to capture it, but it came at a cost. The German one second. It came at a cost because the German army was able to push back even more, and soon around some few regiments have been coming towards to the Danish border, and yeah. So now France is in a lot of trouble. Now they had made now the Brits and the French had made a stalemate. Though they were able to push back a bit, but it's just only a bit. But now they have made a stalemate, and now the France had just created another defense line, and that was it was close, and they used the defense line and just met up with the other defense line. So it's basically like it's now just like a continuation. And the Italian army can't do like much, so like the Italian is doing its best, but it cannot do that much because I think Italian army is not very good. But still now, since they made a stalemate, now France can now focus it to just ravage down through Germany, because Germany is one of the strongest countries. Maybe not that strong, but yeah. So now the French army was now able to just take back a bit of Germany, and now another push has been made that is made to go towards the Poland the Germanish border, and so that they can meet the Berlin and their defense line protecting it. So and also like Germany is now going to be cut it again, but because now again they had just sent down an army which is right over here, and this is where the main army is, and this is where not the main army is, for the exception of this defense line. So basically now only the most of the army is right here, and their resources have been cut, and they do not really need to be worried about resources since a lot of resources are right here. So but still French was still able to push back just a bit, and they were again able to cut down and just come. And now the French army has now decided to again push back. They will just let me just scroll up. Yeah. So they are now just ravaging down, and now soon enough they again met the defense line with again much more fierce. And even there were like 2 regiments that were able to break down the defense line, and they were now just taking the so now German no longer borders like Poland, because like they just took down. And soon enough, like Germany is in trouble, but Germany won't surrender because they already knew what the Brits are up to, and the Brits just launched a surprise attack by sending down paratroopers right around here, and also they had also launched paratroopers right inside the defense line, and they were just now meeting with the French. They were now meeting with the French capital, which is Paris, and soon enough they were able to overtake the capital, and now Italy surrenders because it just doesn't want to fight anymore, and France too surrenders. So looking at a peace treaty, it will probably just be the same. Like the borders would be same, but there will be a few changes, which is not really that quite significant, since France really wanted some lands, like France really needed France. That is the whole reason they just started the war. So the France just want so the France just took down just like around this much of land, because like France literally just defeated Germany very high, but also it had lost towards the Brits. So basically it's like I don't know, peace or something. So yeah, so they got this much, and now the UK too wants some land. So what the UK does is just take down some of the French coast just at this much, and that is it. So it's like very tiny details, for the exception of this. So you won't like if this really happens, I don't think you will notice that much, Yeah. So yeah, bye guys.